Hey, how's it going, folks? Well, yesterday we did speak on a lot of the issues surrounding WWE's deal with Saudi Arabia and a lot of the circumstances that surrounded the exit of WWE talent from the kingdom. They were stranded for 24 hours, a lot of the talent, and now new reports have surfaced on exactly how the talent feel and about Vince McMahon himself. Reportedly, talent feel Vince McMahon left them stranded in Saudi Arabia following a money dispute with the kingdom, and various reports started surfacing following the initial announcement that the talent had a mechanical issue with the plane and couldn't leave the country. Well, Dave Meltzer over at Wrestling Observer Radio did include some additional information regarding this whole thing. He discussed the situation at length, and he called out the WWE for blatantly lying in a statement indicating that several WWE stars arranged their own separate charter out of Riyadh. This second charter carried 12 superstars as well as 8 crew members, and that was a lie, and WWE stars didn't arrange it themselves. Vince McMahon and the company arranged it for them and paid for it. So they made it seem like, these guys went above and beyond and wanted to make it back to the States for SmackDown, and they went upon themselves to do this when that wasn't the case. The exact quote from WWE was, "Several superstars felt so strongly that they arranged their own separate charter in order to make it back to the US for their show." That is a lie, and WWE actually made the arrangements for all of them. The WWE then issued a statement via Atlas Air stating that there was a mechanical issue. Joe Villa from WWE Public Relations sent me an email with a statement. You can read it in the description in the link, an email from Joe Villa from WWE stating that Atlas Air sent this along and he's just passing it by. Fightful Select reported that Bray Wyatt, Roman Reigns, Shinsuke Nakamura, Kofi Kingston, Big E, and The Revival were among the stars who were on that separate charter that was arranged by WWE and not the stars themselves. And the big question here now is a possible dispute between Vince McMahon and the Saudi government. And Meltzer confirmed that the Crown Jewel event was supposed to air live in Saudi Arabia, but instead it aired on a delay. It was a 40-minute delay, and an initial report from WWE former announcer Hugo Savinovich indicated that Vince McMahon instructed Kevin Dunn to cut the feed of the event in the area, possibly due to money disputes. And we don't know that as actual fact, that actually happened. He is reporting that, but we do know for fact is that WWE was owed money, and they were owed $60 million for the Super Showdown event. If you do read in the description, I do have excerpts from the conference call, which we did upload a couple days ago, where George Barrios basically tippy-toed around questions in regards to the agreement between Saudi Arabia and the WWE. He did state that they did actually receive a $60 million payment after the quarter ended. The quarter ended on September 30th, and that's why it wasn't included in the initial Q3 investor statements. And they also tippy-toed around whether or not we will see 2 shows a year like they have been doing in Saudi Arabia. George Barrios added, although we are holding a second large-scale event today in Riyadh, our previously contemplated agreement for that region has not yet been completed. Basically saying they haven't come up with terms for shows going forward. Although they have a 10-year deal, they haven't come up with specifics on if they're going to host something twice a year, once a year, going on with that. And as far as whether or not there was a money dispute, that ultimately falls in the hands of Vince McMahon. But a lot of talent within the company feel that Vince McMahon basically left, and they were left stranded and quote-unquote held hostage in Saudi Arabia. Meltzer noted that none of the talent were harmed during their extended stay in Riyadh, but talent felt like they were held hostages in a company with all this uncertainty surrounding their departure. Military police were also reportedly present during the removal of WWE personnel from that flight that reportedly had mechanical issues. Prior to be sent back to the hotel, Wade Keller of the Pro Wrestling Sheet indicated the talent weren't allowed to even leave the hotel, though were allowed to order whatever they wanted from like room service in order to stay comfortable. So that alone is kind of weird. The talent just weren't allowed to leave the hotel, where before the event, talent were seen all sorts of places, malls, different shops, things like that. So it's kind of weird that they weren't allowed to leave the hotel. There was actually supposed to be a second flight at 8 p.m. local time. That flight was also canceled, and then the final flight, which actually did leave at 4:58 local time in the morning, was delayed by over an hour. So it is interesting here. There's a lot of uncertainty exactly what did happen in Saudi Arabia. Several members of the WWE roster have now indicated they will never go back to Saudi Arabia, and there's others who just can't wait to leave the company. Vince McMahon, Kevin Dunn left Saudi Arabia immediately alongside Vince's staff. Tyson Fury, Brock Lesnar, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, and Jimmy Hart also had private jets, which left immediately. And then there was that chartered flight with those 12 superstars, which were able to leave. And then there was over 100 superstars, talent, crew members, staff that were basically stranded in Saudi Arabia. That being said, some talent who are stranded in the company do feel that Vince McMahon basically left them stranded, but allowed a lot of these top stars to get a new flight back to the United States. And Dave Meltzer also stated that WWE officials have requested video footage from as much talent as possible to claim that these mechanical issues on the plane were actually the problem. It is interesting here. Obviously, more details of this will come out as the days go by, but right now, this is where the story stands. What do you make of all this? Me, myself, personally, I could see something if there was no mechanical issues. Once you land an airplane in any airport, that airplane does not bring their own mechanics along, so they could have landed in that King Khalid airport, and local crews could have stated, yeah, there's mechanical issues, we have to ground this plane, without even the pilots knowing. So it is an interesting situation here. We'll definitely keep you posted as this story does develop. That being said, your thoughts, drop them in the comments below, and don't forget to DDT that like button and subscribe, join the notification squad to be notified of new videos, and have a great day.